I did a video recently talking about the most expensive cards that were released in 2023, and there were some amazing cards, to be fair, some absolute crackers that were released last year. Now, I was thinking about maybe going back to 2022 and taking a look at those cards, but then I've already done a video on that in the past, but we will do a little recap in the future. Then I thought, why not go back to 2021? But then in 2021, we had cards like the Moonbryon and the Blaziken and the Gengar, so it's kind of obvious what cards will be in the top 10, although it'd be interesting to see where they are now. But let's go back to as far as 2020 with the start of the Sword and Shield era set. So we're going to look at today all of the cards that were released in 2020, and we're going to see how well they've been doing. Now we're in 2024. Let's go and find out. Right guys, we're going to do a trip down memory lane. We're actually going to go and take a look at today the top 10 most expensive cards released in 2020. So that includes sets like Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, Dance Blaze, Champion's Path, and Vivid Voltage. There were 5 sets released. Now, they weren't the greatest sets. Okay, so I wouldn't expect anything super crazy from this, although in 2021 things just ramped up extraordinary. It was crazy, you know, in 2021, and then 2022 had great ones, and 2023, and of course we'll be going through each of those. And today we'll be starting off with 2020 to see where they are now 3 years on. And check it out. Today's video is sponsored by Low Poppin. If you're on the hunt for top end graded Pokemon cards, then Low Poppin has got you covered. From PSA 10s to CGC 10s and even Beckett 10s and Black Labels, they literally have it all just for you. And on top of that, they've just launched their brand new website where you can buy all of these cards direct from the website or from their Instagram page. You can also trade in your old cards to help go towards the cards that you want in your collection that they have available, and they've got a huge stock available, guys. Honestly, from English to Japanese, they cover all bases. It's absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, they have international shipping. Now, I'm all the way over here in the UK, and it's great. It's fantastic. It allows me to get it sent over here with no problems whatsoever. And on top of trading in, if you don't have the funds, they do have a buy now, pay later option as well. Hey, look, I'm a massive fan of that, because I tell you what, I want those cards right now, and it's a great way of doing it. And on top of that, they also allow you to make offers for these cards as well, so that will help go towards the cards that you want as well. So it is a fantastic time to pick up those cards. Don't forget, head on over to lowpoppin.com where they have everything, and also make sure to drop them a follow on Instagram at lowpoppin as well. They literally have it all the links will be in the description below, guys, not only to their website but to their Instagram page. You can do everything either on Instagram or on their website. It is absolutely easy to use, so definitely don't miss out on it, guys. I've been using them for a while. They are fantastic, so yes, absolutely massive shout out to them. They are great. Now is the time to get the top end graded cards that I know you guys have been looking forward to picking up, so make sure to head on over there and pick up some goodies. Coming in at number 10, we have a Ninetales V Full Art. Now, you could probably think this list is going to be rough. Bearing in mind, we're starting at number 10 at a $15 card. Now, I remember when I'm doing lists of 2022, 2023, we're looking at, you know, cards that are probably 6 times more than this, you know, and stuff like that. But yep, we're starting off at $15 for a Full Art V card from Rebel Clash. Now, it is Ninetales, which is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, so I'm kind of happy with that. But Rebel Clash doesn't really have that many valuable cards in it, even though booster boxes are quite pricey, which is kind of odd, really. But there you go. Rebel Clash has a nickname of Rebel Trash just because it's, well, losing the name. It's not a very good set. So yeah, Ninetales at $15. We go back over the past year. We can see this card has done absolutely nothing. It has stayed pretty much the way it is for the last year. I don't expect it to change much. Maybe go down, maybe go up, maybe by a little bit. But really not so much. Even though sealed booster boxes, Rebel Clash have been going up. Cards, however, not really doing anything. And number 10 for $15, that's kind of rough. Right, we're sticking with Rebel Clash. We got the Rainbow Bosses Orders. Now, this card has actually been going up, even though it is $18. Yeah, I mean, it did actually dip over the last 3 months down to $16, so it's only really moved about $2 in the past 3 months. We go back over the past year, it is still cheaper than it was a year ago by reaching $22, now down to $18. Again, Rebel Clash, not exactly great. The rainbow cards were kind of a big feature going into, you know, Sword and Shield. There wasn't no alt arts yet. That was in 2021 with Battle Stars. It was interesting to see how these cards match up to the new cards, because rainbow cards have fallen out of favor. I mean, they're not even in the Scarlet and Violet anymore. So we're going to be seeing a lot of rainbow cards when we go through 2020 and 2021. But with 2021, it mostly is the alt arts that drive the highest value cards, whereas in 2020, not so much. All right, on to Dancer Blaze. We have the Charizard VMAX. Now, this was a big ticket card when the set came out. I remember Dancer Blaze being quite pricey, with booster packs and booster boxes being, pricey. This Charizard being pricey. Don't forget, this is just a regular VMAX. This isn't an alt art. This isn't a special illustration reg. They didn't really exist back then. This is just a regular VMAX. Now, the set did have rainbows and full arts and you name it, but it was this Charizard that kind of held the fort. It is the most expensive card in the set at only $25. That goes to show how bad it is to open up Darkness Ablaze. I think the next card in value is like $8. So yeah, this set is super tough to get any form of value. And booster boxes are actually going up. That's what's crazy. Dancer Blaze booster boxes like 140, 150. I mean, would you really want to pay 150 to crack it open to pull this Charizard? Absolutely not. I can buy 6 of these Charizards for the same price as a single booster box and might not even pull the Charizard. Quite interesting. Over the past year, what's this card done? Okay, it went down in price. Not very great. I have one in the PSA 10. I mean, it's not really worth much in a PSA 10. But yeah, Dancer Blaze is kind of weak. Then we got the Sonia Full Art. Now, Rebel Clash has quite a few cards in this list. It's doing alright, $25. This card has been going down recently, though. Over the past 3 months from 35 down to 25. We go back over the past year, and it did actually spike. Wow. It actually shot all the way up to 55, and it's dropped by over 50%. That is rough. But yeah, Rebel Clash, again, same as what we were talking about before. Not the best set, but it is got quite a few cards in this list. This is, I believe, the second most expensive card in the set. I think we still got one more to come. But at $25, I mean, not much better than Dancer Blaze with that Charizard also coming at $25. And this being the second most expensive card in Rebel Clash. Rebel Clash is a lot more expensive than Dancer Blaze. Your Dancer Blaze box is, like I say, 140, 150. Rebel Clash, you're looking at over 200. It's not great. It's not looking great. All right, we're going back to where it all started in Sword and Shield base. We have the Rainbow Snorlax VMAX. Now, again, we're talking about rainbows. This is where the big ticket money cards were. And it's coming from a base set. Now, when we look at Scarlet and Violet base, the Miriam's what, like $25? Not great. Snorlax doing alright at 31. Has actually gone up over the past 3 months. We go back over the past year, and it's actually the highest it was being over the past year, which is actually pretty good. So, not too bad. I don't believe it. I think there's still one more card, but it is, second most expensive card in the set. $30. Sword and Shield base set booster boxes are pretty expensive. They're like, might be like 250 plus. It is really, really expensive. So, I mean, would you really want to crack open some Sword and Shield base? Not really. So this would be one you would probably want to buy and just add into your collection. But yeah, coming in at 31, not too bad for a base set. Then we've got the bosses orders in the full art. And we already had the rainbow. Now we have the full art from, of course, Rebel Clash, Rebel Trash. And now we're looking at $37. All right, we're picking up the pace of valuable cards here, which I'm all for indeed. And yeah, this card not really done much in the last 3 months. Over the past year, well, again, not really done much. This is the most expensive card in Rebel Clash at $37, which isn't necessarily that great. We had to compare it to the second set in the Scarlet and Violet era, Paldea Evolved. I kind of feel like Paldea Evolved is way better than Rebel Clash. Alright, we are coming into the top 4. Just missing out on the top 3 is the Full Art Marnie from Sword and Shield base. This used to be a pretty pricey card. Marnie, big fan favourite, $40 for this right now. Over the past 3 months, it has dropped. Over the past year, it did actually peak as high as $80, and now has dropped to even lower than it was a year ago. This is the most expensive card in the Sword and Shield base set, sitting at $40. If it stayed at $80, that's actually not too bad, but the fact is it's dropped by 50%. That's rough. Like, that is super, super rough. Like I say, booster packs, booster boxes, more expensive. Tough pulls, really tough to get hold of. You might as well just buy this for $40 if you want it. Still not great value. Coming to top 3, we're finally getting into some cards that are worth a good amount of money. And we have the big old Chonkachu, of course, from Vivid Voltage. Now, Vivid Voltage was all about this card. Everybody was on the hunt for this card. I loved Vivid Voltage. It was a great set for me when I came back into the hobby. It was just great fun. Never pulled this though. Never ever pulled this. Really difficult, and it's what's kept its value up after all this time. $102. It dipped a little bit, then bounced back over the past year though. It's gone from 170 down to 100. Vivid Voltage booster boxes haven't really moved much. They've been sitting around 130, 140 for the longest time. It's still a great set to open. You do have amazing rares in there, which is great, but apart from this, it's not that worth value to open. The next card is like $13. From 100 to 13 is pretty rough. So there is one card in this set worth getting. It is the Pikachu, and it is at number 3. Right, and at number 2, we actually have a shiny Charizard. We're all about shiny Pokemon recently, and we have the shiny Charizard V from Champion's Path. $163, a big jump from that Pikachu we just saw. Was around 180 in the past 3 months and has dropped. We go back over the past year, and it is the lowest in the past year. It did actually reach as high as 190. Champion's Path, tough set. Tough set. You only really got the 2 Charizards, which we may or may not see. But yeah, Champion's Path does have 2 massive Charizards in it. And then next up is like the Gardevoir, $8. You know, this is a holiday set, no booster boxes. ETBs aren't exactly cheap either, so it is quite pricey. It is a tough set to get these big, heavy Charizards. And then, of course, we have the Rainbow. We spoke about the Rainbow Charizard VMAX. This is sitting at 166, so not that much more than the shiny, but over the past 3 months, it has dropped from nearly $200. We go back over the past year, and it did actually trickle slightly over 200, but then it did drop to 155, and then it bounced right back up to nearly 200, and then it's going back down again. Kind of going like a weird yo-yo effect at the moment. This is the biggest card from Champion's Path. This is the biggest, most expensive card from 2020. Champion's Path is pretty tough, but this Charizard is carrying the torch. I mean, I do have this myself in a PSA 10. Beautiful card. One of my favourite all-time artworks for Charizard indeed. There you have it, guys. Those are the top 10 most expensive cards from 2020 in 2024. It was rough. It was a rough year indeed. I mean, apart from the big 3 that we saw, starting from $100 to $166, they were literally from Champion's Path and Vivid Voyage. And apart from that, the other sets were just absolute garbage, to be honest. If we compared them to 2021, which we'll do in the future, and we compare them to 2022, 2023, and probably even now, 2024. 2020 was not great. It really wasn't. And if we had to compare them to the other years, it is one of the low performers. Although the 2 big Charizards from Champion's Path are doing very well. Same with Chonkachu, being $100 or more, especially due to kind of reprints and things like that. These are not the best well-received sets. The start of the Sword and Shield era was kind of weak, but then it started to pick up with their introductions of alt arts from Battle Styles onwards in 2021. And also in 2021, you had Shining Fates, and of course, Evolving Skies. I mean, it'd be interesting to see when we go and do the video for 2021. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure you subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about the cards that came out in 2020. Do you think it was a great time? We had the pandemic, of course, during 2020. Kinda tough, with the 2 big Charizards leading the way. If you want to know what the most expensive cards that came out last year in 2023 were, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in this video. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.